I am going to show you how to make a pattern without disassembling the outfit. So if you have an outfit that you really like, that you want more of, or it's getting old and dingy and you can't find it anywhere, then you can make your own. If you have a sewing machine. Anyways, so what I've done here is I've taken like just a simple one-piece outfit. I'll show you. Like this, I've altered it a little bit because I hated it in the back. It looked really stupid. Anyways, so what I've done is I've folded it, but I've pinched it up like this so it would not be in the way of itself when I go to fold it in half. But I'm going to make a simple half pattern so that way when you do make it, you're going to want to fold your fabric in half and cut it as such. I'll show you in a minute. Anyways, so you fold this in half. Make sure you get the edge. The top part is the most important part, so make sure you get that out to the outer edge, you know, to where you can trace it. And fold it in half. The rest of it just kind of tuck in here and you just get it out of your way for a minute. I'm not going to be putting lace around this one. I'm going to make one to match the skirt out of this skirt, this material right here. But I'm not going to be putting lace on it. I'm going to be trimming it in white, so which won't make a difference. But if you were going to fold it over and hem it, you would want to make sure you added an extra, like at least half an inch to an inch on your lines when you're tracing. Okay, now that I got that folded, put that away. This is my little trick that I like to use. Little foam pad holds everything in place. I just have simple brown paper, which this one is kind of small. I have a bigger one than I usually use, but for this I'm using this. So we'll have to do like half an hour. But anyway, another little trick of mine. This is a magnet. You're going to want to get, if you want to do this, you want a really strong magnet. Because what I do is when I'm sewing, and I don't want my sewing machine to go sew over the pins, because when it hits it, it breaks my needle. So as I'm going, I'll take the pins out and I throw them and just flam. So that way, if it's a really strong magnet, it'll like just catch them. And then I just organize them like this so they're easy to grab. So, but anyways, and the reason I have a foam pad is so I can pin things down so they move on me. Come here. Now, take the outfit. For this part, you're going to want to use pencil, but you can go back over with pen if you want to. But I don't advise using pen, just because you might accidentally write on your outfit. I've done it. And then, same thing, take your pins and you pin this down too, so that way it doesn't move around when you're trying to chase it. Again, with elastic in it, you're going to want to stretch that out to where it's flat. Because when you're going to put the elastic back in, when you're sewing it, it'll fit properly. But if you don't, it's going to be way too small. So, another little thing that I've erred on many times. Anyways, so there you go. Now I got everything pinned down. It's not going to go anywhere anymore. So, you can just trace it. What I like to do is I like to make key points, like the tip, the side here, this side, and then since I made a tip, I'm going, since I'm not going to be putting the lace on it, I'm going to fold that over. But, and then I'll make another key point like right here, and then again, right down here, which, my microphone just fell. Are you kidding? Oh, come on. Okay. Anyways, back to the fuck I was doing. Maybe. Alright. As I said, key points, key points, key points. Here, here, and then here. I'll do that next. Then just easily that way. Trace right along the edge. Because this doesn't have to fold, it doesn't have a fold over hem that you're gonna make. So you can just trace right up against it. Then we get to move it all. That's what we do. Ow. Move it all out, keep so it'll stay all together. Pins and all, and just go down. now's a good time to make changes if you don't like something about it. You know, if you want to make the, you know, higher on the hip or lower or anything like that, now's the time to do it. Which is actually precisely what I'm going to do. So, I pull this, so instead of stopping down here, that key point is going to be up here. But anyways, then you got your other here, so you pretty much just draw a straight line down to there. So, get out of the way. You're no longer needed. Okay. And this doesn't have to be super pretty and precise. I mean, it's just going to be a rough sketch pretty much, just so you can have an idea of what you need to cut out of your fabric. At least that's the way I do it. And yeah, so what again? So. Okay, so I had to move my camera view like by a lot because my gimbal kept shaking and bouncing really bad. So I don't know, it was possessed. Anyways, so now you know you're like a lot closer to me. So anyways, so this is where we're at. In the line being drawn. So I don't know if you heard the last thing I said or if I'm gonna accidentally cut it off in the video sometime. On accident in editing, but your lines don't have to be perfectly straight. Just give you a good idea of the pattern of the shape of it when you go to cut your outfit out. Now, that is only true if you're using spandex. If you're not, you need to be very precise, which I don't like to use regular clothing. I like to use spandex, so everybody says it's harder. To me, it's easier. So that's what I like to use. It's all I've ever used. So, well, not all I've ever used because I know the other stuff isn't ideal for me. But anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and trace this. And as I said, I'm going to take it up a little bit higher than the original because I want it higher up on my hip than this one sits. Okay, so now that we got that done, there's your front. As I was saying before the thingy started shaking really bad, this is really important, the crotch area. If you don't get it long enough, your whole outfit is not going to fit at all. So it's better to get it longer than necessary and take it in the end than it is to not have enough, because it'll like make everything pull. It just won't fit, period. It'll strip the whole entire outfit. So be very careful of that. Make sure you leave a little extra because you do have to fold it together and sew it together. And then if you cut it exactly as it's shown or as it's made, then you're going to be about 1 inch too short. So make sure you give enough extra room for that. See, this has this extra thing. I'm just going to leave that off. I'm not even going to worry about that. But this extra part right here, I am going to make sure I incorporate that in this, just not just yet, because it'll pull this part down and I don't want that. So, all right. Here's your back side. Now, again, make your dots at your seam. Here, 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 and then here. And okay, so another little part is this seam. You're gonna want to add a little bit extra on the back side because you're sewing these two parts together, and it's gonna take it in about 1/2 inch on each side. So, again, if you're using spandex, it's not that big a deal because it stretches. It has a lot of give. But if you're not using spandex, then you're going to want to make sure you do that right. So now, just same thing as the other side. Just trace it. And I can do this last part here, which pretty much all you need to do is just get the length of it. It's just going to be a string up your butt, pretty much. So. Just get the length, which it goes all the way down in my tape, the end of my paper, so I'm not even going to bother with the, yeah, I'm not even going to bother with pinning it. So, okay, there we go. Now, I didn't do the inside because obviously you can't, there's fabric in the way. So,
Or you can even give yourself the extra room when you're doing this, which would probably be better because then this wouldn't end up a little too long on accident. I don't know how well you can see that, but yeah. Just make sure you give yourself a little extra room where the seams are. And that's all you need to do. Cut this out. And then you've got your very first pattern. Now, another very important part is make sure you label things, because you put this up and then you think you're gonna remember, but you don't. So you're gonna wanna label inside, back, outside, back, bottom, top, you know, whatever you need to do. And that you need to fold it over in half. And that's why inside, outside comes in handy. Because the first pattern I ever made was for a mermaid style gown, and it had 8 panels in it, and I didn't remember what went where next time I got it out and tried to use it. So it was absolutely no good. I spent 3 hours making a pattern for nothing. I had to throw it out because I didn't have a clue what I was supposed to be doing. I didn't know what went where. But anyways, yep, so there you go. Which this part right here, really I should have just backed it up to the edge so I wouldn't have to cut it at all. But, you know, I'm not that smart sometimes. Okay. Another thing I do sometimes is I'll laminate them so they don't get ripped, you know. But that's only when I was using them a lot when I was making outfits and selling them. So. Put a G-string instead of a thong. Right. And same with it. So, and here's another good thing. Okay, you make this and you're like, oh my gosh, where's it supposed to stop? Because it's open in the front, like so. You know? And if you just cut that out, it's gonna be with the material all together like that, and it's gonna be like, oh my god, what the hell? So, yeah. Another thing is to mark where that V comes. So, you know,